Hey, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Brown Gent. Seems like the meta is constantly changing, so there's going to be even less airdrop updates in these videos as I talk about what's going on in the overall crypto space. But I also want to take this time to give you updates on crypto. The idea here is I just want to make sure that you guys are up to speed with everything that's going on. A lot of the reasons why I do what I do, why I bring this content, you guys probably already know I got like $1 per video. It really isn't worth my time. But I find there's so much disinformation, or maybe I should say bad information, that people are peddling out there so that you guys will end up losing your money. Hopefully I can provide some more clarity for you guys when it comes to that. And whenever there is any pivotal airdrop information we need to know about, definitely want to go through that as well. If you missed my last AMA where I covered how I'm making money, how I'm printing the last couple months, make sure you check it out. Or as always, if you haven't already, make sure you follow me on All Tech. I'm going live right now on Twitter as well for the first time. So definitely, if you follow me on Twitter, that'd be very much appreciated. Also, check out my wallet on the bank. We've taken a bit of a beating today. The broader market has been selling off. We'll talk about that in just a second. But one thing I do want to talk to you about is, guys, you will never see me shilling these meme coin in the trenches, pump and dumps like a lot of other influencers. There's a lot of people out there in this space who would just send you summaries of airdrop info, not really give you real strategic advice or strategic guidance. They're now shilling meme coins, hoping that now that they can't farm you for referrals, they want you to buy into tokens after them. They give you contract addresses, and right after that, they just dump on you. There are very few people out there who are actually sharing this, who are not doing that. I'm going to talk a bit about one of them in a little bit, but I want you to know, from me, you'll never see me shill meme coins. The only meme coins I tell you about are the ones that I buy and hold and have high conviction in. Also, you guys already know I rotate airdrops into my high conviction plays. I also buy and hold my high conviction plays. I even trade and sort of share my narrative with you guys. So for example, with the election, when it came to Doge, and then after that, I traded that into Pepe. I give you guys all of this accessible. You can check my bank wallet. You don't have to believe a word I say. You can literally see it on chain. Follow me if you want to make it this cycle. Like literally August 21st, my wallet was 65K. November 19th, 155K. You can really see the trajectory with, like, maybe a few $1,000s here and there from airdrops, but the bulk of it has come from appreciation of holding the right assets. And I've been telling you guys what those assets are, which is mainly 60 to 80% Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. Now, if you hear all this and you go, you know what? I don't really care. I don't have time to keep on top of it. I make it very simple for you. You can do one of two things. Number one, you can join the Web3 Secret Society, like 200 plus other people. I have multiple channels. I have summarized channels, so you don't have to keep looking at every Discord channel all the time. You get sort of briefings on what you need to do on a daily basis, and then you're taken care of. Or and obviously there's also a community and sort of a lot of guidance. If you have any questions, I'm always there. One of the things you'll always hear is the Brown Gent is literally always there. In other groups, that person who's running the group isn't there. Second thing is, and might be more useful for some of you, if you just want to plan a one-time thing, hey, what's my plan for the bull run? Customized for you. Book your call. We'll get it done. Do it sooner rather than later, because obviously you want to execute on that for the bull run. All the links to everything I share, by the way, are in the description below. But guys, this is incredible. Bitcoin has hit new all-time highs. As with this video popped off, we're now at $96,600 for Bitcoin. Meanwhile, the rest of the market was very red. Ethereum is sitting at 3,100. Sol 237. It kind of has retraced but bounced back a tiny bit. But a lot of coins were heavy red. They're getting a little greener now. Obviously this is happening while I go live, so I don't really know exactly which ones have retraced slightly, but even Bitenzer Tau was like 535, even $600 a few days ago. It's 483. Guys, don't be surprised. This is normal. The reality is, and I've been telling you this for so long, as much as people want to front run and get to the altcoins, there's a measure to this. Bitcoin always leads. Bitcoin is in price discovery. As it discovers price, the altcoins will bleed. Bitcoin dominance goes up. Is it not crazy to you guys that we now have a 1.9 trillion market cap, which was more than the entire market cap in the bear market for the entire crypto industry? So that's fantastic. It's going to keep going. This is why I still hold on to at least 20% Bitcoin, right? I know many people don't do it because you've been listening to bad actors, but if you hold the majors, you shouldn't see as much red as others do. Don't fret, that time will come. The money that comes into Bitcoin will flow down into Ethereum, Sol, and the other assets given enough time. One other thing that's very interesting is retail is here. The number 2 application for utilities in the US is Phantom. Not surprising, it's primarily Solana, although you can get ETH and BTC on it. But this is a very good sign that retail is here. They're here to buy our bags. You just got to make sure you're holding the right bags, because sometimes you may be holding junk like Jewel that they'll have zero interest in buying. Now, one other thing, that this vote is still going on. If you want to sort of vote as well, if you haven't already, there's a ton of people who fake a lot of what they do. It's called LARPing, acting. They share screenshots of making millions of dollars. They share a bunch of nonsense, never provide any proof, never provide any sort of wallet addresses to actually track it. They just Photoshop things and make bold claims. And because of that, you may be in this market and you may be up 10%. But then you look at somebody else who's like, oh, I made 1,000x today. And while maybe that happens 1 in a million or whatever, if you look at crypto Twitter, it feels like literally everybody but you did it. So don't listen to people. Tune those idiots out. I'm glad to see that majority of people realize that almost everybody, all these KOLs, lie about their gains, fake their screenshots. This is why I provide my wallet, my on-chain wallet. You can't make these things up. So when I make trades, like when I made a trade earlier today talking about Andy, I literally share that here. Like, in the span of an hour, I made $550 just flipping Andy. I was talking about that. People can say they're doing it. I actually show method to my madness. And that's why I believe that if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to this channel. One other thing that's been going on and has been going on in the last 24 hours with the talk about the chill guy meme coin is this whole thing around the TikTok meme coins, because TikTok is the way that a lot of normies are getting their crypto content. This guy named TGR or TJR, who's been doing a bunch of videos. In these videos, he's been getting people to like basically buy up some of these coins. Coins like Chill Guy, Winter, Huz, whatever. One of the people that I've been following recently, they've kind of blown up in the last few days. They had like 1,000 subscribers or followers when I followed them. 9,700 has been sharing a lot of their their thoughts. Obviously, guys, with these Solana shitters, just put something small that you can afford to lose. You can put like 0.1 Sol, 0.05 Sol, whatever you want, if you feel the need. I recommend for many of you, if you don't have the funds, do not mess with this. But hey, he mentioned this. He had a very good track record, so I put some money in here. And I 15x'd my money. Like I said, I only put like 0.15 Sol in it. So it's really nothing. These are not substantial gains by any means, but he had posted this very early. And then this thing basically went to zero after the fact. So just keep in mind, the way to play these Sol shitters is you want to get in early and you want to get out. Don't get stuck holding the bag. These are not the conviction plays that you want to have in Bitcoin, ETH, Sol, Pepe, whatever they may be. In fact, I'll be making a video series for crypto newbies on exactly how to get onboarded onto crypto based on the level that they want to be in the ecosystem. Okay, so if you're new, look forward to that. One more thing I just want to say is if you are getting disheartened by people posting on the timeline, sharing how well they're doing, just remember that pretty much almost everyone is not profitable in the trenches given enough time. This is a casino. There is rake. There's a lot of insiders, cabals, and a lot of people are just trying to make you exit liquidity. So guys, on this channel, I talk about growing your wealth. This is literally the lottery ticket system if you go to do it. In fact, I think you got a better shot at winning the lottery unless you get some really good alpha early on. Most of the time, you've got to be an insider to make the big bucks here. You know, there's some exceptions, but this is really the case. Please be careful. If you are, however, using this, my recommendation to trade memes is BullX. If you want a link to that, the description below, you'll save 10% on your fees by using my link. Once again, it's a gamble. Do not do this with money you can't afford to lose. The way I play these is I'll put in a small amount and I'm okay with it going to zero because sometimes these things go down 95% and then they 100x or 50x or whatever. So it's got to be zero or hero in at least the way that I've learned to play these. And I don't even use pump vision. I literally just use the search button and I look up the ones that are on the timelines from people that I trust or that have had a history of making good calls. So with all that being said, there's a lot of non-airdrop alpha. The first thing I want to share with you is if you guys saw the last video, hopefully you voted for the second proposal for the active staking rewards for Jupiter. They've actually made a dashboard so you can check out your voting profile and see exactly how much you have potentially earned. So you go in here, you type in your valid public address, and then what'll happen is it'll spit this out. So currently I have participated in 14 out of 15 proposals. I missed one in August, so I got dinged on the last ASR, but this one, I'm in the top 5% of Jupiter voters. You can see here that I did participate in both of the two proposals so far, and my current estimated ASR rewards are $385.28, made up of 345 stake Jupiter and 518 to bridge. I think it's a really cool tool. You might want to check it out, see how you're doing. On top of that, Fabiano, who makes a lot of good threads for Jupiter, has done a TLDR, which is a too long, didn't read summary of Where Meow's essay. So I know you guys probably don't care about what's going on with Jupiter so much, right? Like exactly what they're doing. I've told you guys so many times, I believe they're the top team in the entire crypto space. They have highlighted that they have a very filled coffers in their treasury, so they've got the cash flow to do any sort of thing they need to do, which is very good for us if you're holding Jupiter, staking Jupiter, because then you know that there won't be any additional sell pressure. Example, DeFi Kingdoms did the opposite, where they literally had zero treasury, and every time they wanted to do something, they dumped on their already hurting community. This won't happen here. Now, one of the things that's going on as well is this whole idea about Jupuary, right? So the thing that is coming up is figuring out what the role of Jupuary is, what's going to happen in the future. Basically, what Jupuary was meant to do is invite people who have used Jupiter before, to join the community in the DAO, decentralize and unify. And basically, there will be a vote coming up. The first vote will address whether the community is comfortable with two more Jupuaries of 700 million each tokens, right? That was very surprising to me because I know originally we were supposed to have 1 billion, then we reduced it to 700, and now there's a potential to have none. And in this case, it has to pass with a 70% threshold so they can unify the community. If it doesn't pass, there's going to be a new proposal. And if they can't get a clear agreement, the tokens will stay in the community multi-sig and something else will be proposed. So I am going to be very upfront here. I stake Jupiter. So for me, I'm kind of bought in. You guys know me as somebody who cheats my airdrops, and rightfully so. When they're trash, I get rid of them. Jupiter is actually very good. Now, there's an opportunity cost in only using Jupiter exclusively. There are other platforms on Solana, like Flash Trade. There's another one as well, like Phoenix Trade or whatever. There's a bunch of them, and they all have rewards programs. So for me, it's kind of would be a very not cool thing to do, in my opinion, to, after setting the goalposts from the start of January this year, to then say, hey, you know what? We're not going to do it at all. First, we cut from 1 billion to 700 million. Now we're not going to give it to you at all. I think that's a very bad move, and hence I will be voting to proceed, because I've also seen sort of what these things do to communities. If you're a Jupiter staker, because Jupiter stakers don't inherently just get it, it shouldn't matter, because if you're using Jupiter, you qualify. And I think what they should do, I would love to see a proposal where they take a look at Jupiter use consistently spread out over a long period of time versus, just the Sibyls who are doing it, all at once. Another way to do it as well, I've heard, is KYC. So will be very interesting to see what happens here. That will go up somewhat soon. And like I said, it's got to have a 70% threshold to pass. So you got You're a Chef here. They're legit the best team in crypto. Proud to be a holder. Couldn't have said it better myself. Next update here was from a couple days ago. The new tokenomics for Magic Eden has been shared. This was a project that has been marred in controversy. So they used to be a SOL-only platform. People say they sold out, branched everywhere else as well. And people were not too happy to see exactly what the tokenomics look like. I thought it was okay. A couple things that were somewhat important to recognize over here is 12.5% of the Magic Eden token will be rewarded across Bitcoin, Sol, and the EVM ecosystems, fully unlocked at the token generation event, and then any amounts that are unclaimed, they go back to ME stakers. I will not be staking Magic Eden. I will be selling every single Magic Eden token I get. 37.7 will also go toward active users of Magic Eden protocols in the future, like rewards, and then sort of ecosystem development. A lot of people said, oh, everything else goes to the rest of the team. Some of it definitely does. It feels like the contributors, strategic participants, and everything do that. And you can see here exactly the tokens, the token emissions schedule. One thing to note. So the ME or Magic Eden token generation event will be in a few weeks, and we should be seeing an eligibility checker very soon. A lot of people were up in arms after these announcements because just the nature of trading Bitcoin NFTs, or should I say ordinals and all of that, well, and even runes, what happens is you end up spending a lot more, so you probably earn a lot more diamonds. And in fact, that's exactly what people were saying. Why are BTC users just getting a bigger share of the pie? I really don't know how they could address this appropriately, but as somebody who's traded with my Unisat wallet, my Phantom wallet on here, and my I think it was Rabby or MetaMask wallet on this, I'm covered on all ecosystems, so I'm looking forward to it. Now, one other thing, as you guys know, for me, anytime an airdrop is coming out where a lot of people are basically getting a rebate, for me, this is an ideal time to short. Why? Because it doesn't matter where the token launches, if it launches at $2.50, $3, whatever, this is the kind of money that will be sold off. It's very different from another type of token where, like, if you're flipping NFTs and you're making money off this, you're going to sell these tokens. I can't see people not doing it. If you are doing something else where, like, you want governance, etc., and you did it without having like burn so much or, do a lot of activities, maybe you'd hold it. Well, I've opened up a short early. I'm going to, this is a small short. I'm going to open up a bigger one very, very soon as well. Once I see some direction on price, and I'm going to be shorting Magic Eden. The price is pretty juicy. It's currently sitting between a bid ask of 231 and 271. So there's a lot of money to be made, much like I saw with Scroll in the early days. Guys, remember, nothing I say is financial advice, so please do your own research. Don't just be like, oh, the brown gen shorting, I'm going to do the same thing. Speaking of which, speaking of shorting, there's an update on Hyperliquid. So the token generation event is imminent. An announcement that came out today that's been sort of making the rounds is in their Discord. They said that points will be distributed next week, and we're going to include activity in May, October, and early November. And when those points get distributed, that is the final distribution. 2 days later, the token generation event is happening. So I have been using Hyperliquid, even after. So I am excited for all the new points. If you saw my previous video as well, you saw the value of those points skyrocket. And there's actually an interesting bet going on Polymarket on when the Hyperliquid token launch will be. So there's 25% saying November, 63% saying December, 14% saying later. So it's one of these two, unless it gets delayed. So it should be interesting. And the final, not final, but there's two last updates. This one is on Zyfi, which is a protocol on ZKsync. Basically, you can check if you have qualified for their airdrop. I'll give you a hint. I did not qualify, for their token allocation. They had some eligibility criteria, 200 points in the Zyfi or on DeFi point program, 1 gasless transaction, and being an early power user. The snapshot was taken about a month and 2 weeks ago. So for those of you who haven't checked already, I put the link to the eligibility checker, and then if you go to do that, you can claim after the fact as well. And finally, there's a new proposal up for ZKsync, which is their protocol defense. This is the second submission. The first submission they canceled. The voting starts in about 5 days. Now, I really believe that delegating some ZK or voting in these proposals will be some sort of criteria to earn the 4.2 billion ZK tokens that are earmarked for the community. Right, 300 million or so will be given to the Ignite program, but there will be some that has to do with on-chain liquidity, on-chain footprint, and if we've seen anything from Optimism, it had to do with sort of staking / delegating and voting. So make sure you do this if you haven't already, or if you want to, you can always delegate to me and I will vote in the best interest of the community. I'll never miss a vote. That way you don't need to worry about it. And there's no actual reward for me doing it, just getting more people to do it. Okay. We got JR2K in the house. How you been? I'm doing great. We got Volp in here. BTC going absolutely nuts. Exactly. Super happy that about 20% of my portfolio is in Bitcoin. Let's go. I think you mentioned buying Turbo's meme on Eclipse. I never did. I'm pretty sure I never did. I never mentioned a meme to buy on Eclipse. There was Leica, which was airdropped to those who had the validator NFT. And then there was the NFT minting from the anticipation event. So that's the only things I look at. I don't buy memes on other chains. I'm going to give you some alpha here, okay, B Gold? It's just like when you buy a house or when you buy anything. The best markets have the most amount of buyers and sellers. Why? Because things can then change hands much easily. If you go to smaller chains with less people, you get less buyers and less sellers, they're less liquid. So when I'm trading memes, I always want to be on a chain like Sol. I would like to be on ETH, but the gas fees are insane, so it's, whatever. But if I'm looking to actually trade memes, I'm doing it on Sol primarily because that's where the most people are. So if things go bad, this can pick up in the future as well. They're very, very liquid. It's not the case elsewhere. So that's sort of, the way I look at it. Beagle, not a problem. You're welcome. We got Tony here. Those Linnea Voyage NFTs were a great call. Yeah, I'm glad that, if you bought it after, before the snapshot was announced. So that's great. For someone who's holding ETH and no Sol, do you think it's wise at this stage to convert some ETH to Sol? Simple gains. It's hard to say. I would probably borrow against some of my ETH to buy some Sol if you wanted to. You can borrow, right, from USDC and do it, and then sell it when it goes up. That's an option, or you could just buy some Sol. I do think ETH's going to do well. ETH BTC has basically bottoming right now. So, I would definitely I wouldn't want to get rid of my ETH. I want to get both. So you can always borrow, have a very good health factor, like 2.5, 2.3, whatever. And I think you're good. You can buy some Sol that way, right? Because what you do is I put my ETH on Aave. I borrow some USDC. I trade that USDC to buy some Sol, and we're good to go. And you can use Jumper to move from chain to chain. Okay. Should I even dabble in meme coins if I can't spend? No, give me the loot, because if you miss it, like what's gonna happen is they pump and dump. These are, when we talk about meme coins, we're talking about Solana shitters or whatever. These are very fickle, in the moment type tokens. There could be all the talk today and completely dead in an hour. The meme coins that I dabble in long term are like Pepe, like Brett. I think Pepe is the best meme coin this cycle. I think it's going to do incredibly well. And that one, you don't need to be on the computer. You just buy and hold on to it, right? But you need to have your conviction. Based on your Jupiter comments, I assume you'll be a long-term holder. That's correct. Yeah, unless anything happens, I'm going to keep my Jupiter staked, keep earning those ASR rewards. The team is fantastic. I think the value of Jupiter will appreciate. It's very rare that I say that about a team. 9K diamonds, any value in future? I've heard varying price estimates, like maybe 5 cents for a diamond. Like I said, you never really know. We just have to wait to see how it converts. We know what the Magic Eden token is currently trading for, around 250. If we look at the average, shouldn't be that bad. Do I think Peanut the Squirrel is going to have any lasting power? Not at all. It was just pumped up to 2 billion because of the listing on Binance. Binance will be listing another token very soon, and that's what's going to get the next pump. I'm very curious to see if they do it to Hasbullah's cat. I think it's called Barsic or something, but we'll see. All right, guys, I got to get going and shoot some more videos to post later. But if you enjoy the video, please hit the thumbs up button. Really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. Share this video if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter. Check out the links in the description below. And as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.